Hey, oh my gosh. Hey, YouTube family. Oh my gosh. I don't know. I am so sorry. I don't know what just happened. I kind of messed up there. But happy crappy hour. I may have to start over again. So, this is our Thursday happy crappy hour, and I'm welcoming you to this. I'm so glad that you guys are able to make this. Oh, here we go. It's up. Ah, hi. Thank you. You're saying welcome back. I can see this now. I don't know what happened earlier. Yeah, I did not see this other comment or, yeah. All right. I think I just messed up earlier. So I apologize about that. Now I'm able to see comments. So thank you guys. I don't know what happened. And I apologize about that. So obviously I'm still pretty new at this. Oh my gosh. Yes. There you guys are. Now I see you. I don't know what happened before. So I'm so glad we started over. So, you guys, I do want to say good morning. I want to welcome you here. I want to talk about our happies and crappies, and I want to hear what your week has been like. Oh, hi. You're saying, oh, thank you, Sorellis. I appreciate your encouragement, you guys. And I'm so sorry that I lost a bunch of people. Hopefully, they'll be coming back. So, you guys, today's topic is going to be, or is about, if the narcissist wants to be friends again, and or they want to continue a friendship with you, even though they've abused you and rejected you and discarded you, and because remember, it's really important to them to have affirmation and to have people's approval. So they want your approval still, even though you're done, even though the relationship is over. Yes, you all made it over. Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm so sorry that I lost you. And here, I'm able to see your comments now. So I'm not sure what happened earlier. It was really weird, and I felt like something was off. So I'm glad I started over. Um, so Sorella says, my ex-narc wants to use our son to hoover. Oh, yeah, it's true. So they'll use any connection that you have in order to hoover you back in. And it could be, if you're in the same office, they'll get on the same projects with you, or try to work with you. If they're neighbors, of course, they're going to try to run into you, or if you live in the same area. If, yeah. So let me ask you, Sorellis, well, I guess it depends on how old your son is, and how this is affecting your son, because you don't want it to affect your son. You don't want to be triggered each time you have to talk to your son, or the narcissist uses your son to relay messages to you. So, gosh, this is where I was just talking to my husband the other day. This is where being able to compartmentalize is so healthy. I know it sounds like, why would that be healthy? But it is. You have to be able to set aside, it's sort of like professional life and private life. Now you're a narcissist, you have to keep them in a box where you would keep professional life, and private life you can keep separate. Now, if you have a child in common, it seems a lot harder. But if the child gets older and you're able to talk to them a little bit, you just change the subject. Or if the child has questions why you don't want to hear about the narcissist, you can say really benign things, like just real quick, I just don't really want to talk about this. I don't want to pull you into it. It's between me and your mom, or me and your dad. So I just don't, we'll work it out, but we both love you. And just reassure the kid that you both love them, that this does not mean, this will not take away from how much you care about your child. So yeah, it's pretty tough. I have some other comments here. I don't know if I'm going to be able to continue or connect the previous happy crappy hour attempt that I made to this one. I am so glad. Yeah, now I'm actually definitely seeing your comments. I don't know what happened earlier. I did not get this message earlier from YouTube saying that the comments were on. So anyway, you guys, I'm so sorry about that. If you guys were here earlier, you'll know that I was starting, and for some reason I wasn't able to see you guys. But Measure Twice says low contact has been easy with my ex-husband regarding joint custody for 7 years. My main issue in life nowadays at age 50 is memory loss from long-term narcissistic abuse. Oh, you know what? The memory loss. Oh my gosh. There is a brain training class, or there are several brain training classes that you can take online for free. So I would recommend you do that. I noticed that that really helped me in order to be more present, but also to remember. I'm able to recall people's names. I'm able to recall people's faces. I feel a lot sharper since I started doing the brain training games and classes. Mainly it's the classes, but I do some brain training games. There's one called Lumosity that you can do for free. You can subscribe and pay for more games and more personalized attention to your progress. They'll create an account for you and help you follow your progress, that type of thing. But if you don't do that, you can do several games a day and increase your mental acuity, which is really great. And I agree with you. When you've been abused for a long time, your mind tends to shut down certain areas of your brain. So, in a way, to protect you. And I used to say, or I do still sometimes say, that there are things in my far past that I don't remember because I think it's to protect me, which is really good. At first, when I was first coming out of the trauma, I would forget like whole chunks of my life, years of my life. And I used to think, well, geez, what's wrong with me? I'm brain damaged. And it turned out that a few years after that, as I was healing, I would start to remember some of the traumas. But by that point, those traumas were far enough away that I could see how wrong they were and how bad they were, but not have it continue to traumatize me. So that's, what happened. Sorrel says he's 12. Yeah, so he can understand what's going on when your ex is trying to hoover you back in. So you can probably have some pretty, mature conversations with him at this point, depending on where he is emotionally. I wouldn't go into very deep conversations, but answer his questions. Just ask him if he has any questions. And you definitely don't want this to affect his childhood. You don't want this to affect him, how he's growing up. You want to make sure that he's growing up healthy and strong and confident, and that he feels loved. So yeah. And say Measure Twice says, and PTSD flare-ups. Yeah, that does happen. That happens for me too sometimes, and I'm like, whoa, what was that? I call them triggers, but you're right. It's PTSD where you fall into this. But actually for me now, it's become less and less of a reaction coming from me. The triggers don't get the same reactions from me anymore. So that's how I know I'm getting better. I'm not reacting badly. I'm not reacting wildly, or my barometer isn't going up and down as wildly as it had been before. Okay, you guys, let me see here. So, our topic has been when the narcissist wants to still be friends. And sometimes it might seem like it's a hoover because they want to still be a part of your life. And part of that, sorry, you guys, part of that is they need something from you. Yeah. And I want to let you know right now that it's not your responsibility to give them anything. Honestly, it's not. It's not your responsibility to make sure they're doing okay. It's not your responsibility to make sure that they're happy, that they're getting affirmation, that they're getting, if it's shared properly. It's not even your responsibility to go back and fix things for them, okay? It's not your responsibility. Know that. This is where I had talked about compartmentalizing. I don't know if it's in this one or in the other earlier live stream that I kind of messed up, you guys. But I talked about compartmentalizing, and it is healthy to compartmentalize because there are relationships that have certain boundaries. Not all relationships have the same boundaries, right? Not all relationships are going to be friendly. Not all relationships are going to be intimate. Not all relationships are going to be like daily contact relationships, right? Some relationships, as we know, are business relationships. So you have to keep that on that level. You don't transfer it over into your private life because it starts to affect then your business relationship. So with narcissists, you want to keep it on that business professional relationship level. So whatever you would not do with a business person or a person you're meeting for business, don't do with your narcissistic ex, right? If you don't go over to your customer's house to have drinks after work, then don't go over and hang out with your narcissistic ex and socialize with them, right? You have to remember that now it has to be a business or a professional type of relationship. You guys, I'm going to go ahead and look at some of these comments as you're talking, as we're going through here, because I do want to address some of this. I'm going back a little bit. Crystal says, yes, he said that when I made it clear I was leaving, I'm sure we'll remain friends. I said, no. He looked shocked. Yes, right? Crystal, thank you so much. This is how it is. It's okay for you to say no. It's okay. I want you guys all to know it's all right not to be friends with everybody, including past friends, past narcissistics or past exes or who are narcissistic, especially. It's okay to tell them no. I've had some who have tried to friend me on Facebook, and I don't. I hate to not accept a friend request from people I know. But if they're people that I just don't, either I don't know them. If I don't know them, then I just don't accept it. But if I know that they're toxic, then I absolutely do not feel comfortable at all allowing them to see my private settings, right? What's in my privacy settings, which is what's going on in my life, and sharing pictures or sharing what's going on in my family. I don't feel comfortable them knowing anything, even if I'm not even in the same town with them, even if I know I would never hear from them, but I just know how toxic and angry and jealous they are, that anything that I post, they're just going to look at that and be jealous of it and wish me horrible trauma, and I just don't need to invite that into my life. And that's part of having boundaries, you guys. When you have boundaries, you allow goodness into your life and you keep out badness, right? Anything that's bad or toxic, you can keep out. And those, people who have healthy boundaries can do this. And that's where we need to go. That's our aim in relationships, is to have healthy boundaries. So you guys, let me look here at some of these comments here. Gamer Christina, good morning. Oh, and good morning, Brown Girl. I didn't say good morning to all of you guys, by the way. So good morning, Crystal Jean, Measure Twice, Sir Ellis, good morning. I'm so glad you guys are here. Let me see if I missed anyone. Guy Walker, good morning. Thank you again for welcoming me back. In case you guys might not know, I kind of messed up at the beginning here and went for 10 minutes or so. Couldn't see anybody's comments, so I pretty much started over. Crystal Jean says, I tried going back to school these different times over 15 years, couldn't retain information or handle the extra stress. So yeah, Crystal, what I really highly recommend to you are the brain training classes or brain training games. And you might start off with just the games online, and you can look these up. I mentioned Lumosity earlier. That's a good one. Lumosity, OSITY. Lumosity. And that I had done that for a couple of years. They have a lot of really great games that help you to think faster. It helps you to go from using your right side of your brain to your left side of your brain. And what happens a lot in trauma in our life is that our left side and our right side lose the connections to transfer information between um, what goes on emotionally to what goes on factually, right? So that's your left and right brain are different in those ways. So if you do the brain training, it will reconnect those synapses, and you'll be able to transfer information back and forth better. You'll be able to remember better. You'll be able to communicate a little faster. You'll just be a little sharper. And actually, not just a little sharper, you're going to be a lot sharper. So I don't recommend going back to school right away until you do this for yourself first. You want to heal your brain before you add more stress to it. And school does add stress to your brain, right? It's there to stretch your brain, your education, your learning. So instead of pouring more information into your brain and having it overload and not able to process the information, you want to heal the two sides of your brain being able to communicate and connect. So again, I hope you'll do that and let me know how that goes. Hold on, you guys. I have another. Gamer Christina says, my happy for this week is that I said no. Yes, I like that word. To my ex for changing our custody schedule. My crappy for this week is that he became angry at me for saying no. His anger almost made me say yes, but I did not. I'm so proud of you, Gamer Christina. I'm so proud of you because, yes, the most powerful word in our arsenal when it comes to boundaries, and actually just when it comes to you as an individual, your most powerful word is no. Like anybody can say yes, right? And yes lets in all kinds of things, which is sometimes good and sometimes bad. So we do want to learn how to say yes to all the good things, right? Because we don't want to say no to those. But we have to learn to say no. We have to learn to say no to the bad things. And I'm so proud of you, Gamer Christina, for that. Measure Twice says, I discovered a channel, Empower Us, that discusses PTSD. Oh, that's good. Yeah, you guys, with PTSD, go back to brain training. There is also another program. What is it called? Learning RX. Now you do have to pay for that, and they may have it in your town. I think it's nationwide, and I'm not sure if it's international. But what they had discovered is that PTSD, of course, creates a brain trauma, and they work with veterans. They work with soldiers who'd been in war and have had PTSD. They also work with people who've been abused and have PTSD through that. They also work with people who feel like all their life they've had a learning disability, and what that disability is that they've discovered that the left and right brain are not communicating. The different sides of your brain is not communicating. So they train you with games, and it's a lot like the games you find in Lumosity, actually. But they have a one-on-one person, and they gear it specifically towards your weaknesses. And what we tend to do, if left to our own devices and left to our own healing and training, we tend to fall towards the categories that we're good at. We want to continue doing the things that we're good at, which is great. But what we need to do is stress and stretch our mind in the areas that are weak. So if we have memory issues, then we need to play more memory games. If we have calculating issues, then we need to do more math type games. If we have verbal issues or directional issues, then we need to play games that require our brain to switch gears going up and down, side to side, that type of thing. Like car driving games that you see on video games. Yeah, stuff like that. So, Brown Girl Love One, good morning. Good to see you. So, Brown Girl Love One says, my narc discarded me, blocked me, and moved on to a new supply. I don't even have to block him. He told me he found someone prettier, more educated, corporate job, and makes him want to be a better man. Ugh, I'm so sorry. What a turkey to have said that to you. Yeah. This is one of those times where you have to compartmentalize, you have to just block that out and get rid of it. And someone had earlier mentioned that they have memory problems. This is a time where you do want to lose that memory. You want to get rid of the memories and the hate speech or the angry speech that came from the narcissist. You want to bury, not bury it like ever and not deal with it, but you want to identify it as lies and then get rid of it. Get rid of it. These are lies. Get rid of it. If that's what this narcissist is saying to you, great for them. Good for you. Close that door, walk away from him, because it's all lies towards you. It doesn't mean that you're less, you're not as pretty, you're not as good, you're not as strong, or you're not the kind of person who makes somebody else a better person. That's not true. You don't have to accept any of those words coming from that person, from a narcissist. So you leave them alone. And the good news, though, is that you don't even have to block them, because if they don't want it to be a part of your life, you are so blessed. I cannot tell you, it is so much better to have a narcissist say, I don't want anything to do with you, than it is to have a narcissist who is continually around you, who continually is beckoning and crying for you and trying to manipulate you and trying to, excuse me, and trying to guilt you back into a relationship with them. It's horrible, because if they get a little bit of their foot in your door, they're going to do as much damage as they can from that position. It's not worth it. You're so much better if they leave you and they leave you alone. Yeah. Measure Twice says, my memory loss is memory suppression because I haven't fully dealt with all the traumatic memories. I research ways to slowly deal with the bad memories in my subconscious that need to be dealt with. Yeah. There are bad memories, but a lot of times what we end up doing is we blame ourselves for the things that happened. We degrade ourselves. We have this negative self-talk that we would repeat again and again, like those negative words that Brown Girl Love just shared with us. We may repeat those words over and over again that the narcissist had said to us that tore us down. So we don't want to repeat that, but you can deal with those things and say at the end of that, that's a lie. Like, you have to replace it with a truth. Say, this person said that I'm not pretty enough. That's a lie. I am pretty enough. I'm pretty enough for the right person in my life. I'm pretty enough for me. I'm pretty enough because I am enough. You have to replace those lies that they try to put on you with truth. Crystal Jean says, Brown Girl, don't fret. It'll be short-lived. I promise you'll suffer like you did too. And this is the truth, that there is nobody that's good enough for the narcissist that the narcissist won't eventually start tearing down. They idealize, just like they idealized you at the beginning. They thought you were perfect, or they told you were perfect. That's what they're doing with the new supply at this point as well. They're telling the new supply, you're perfect. And they're trying to convince themselves that the new supply is perfect so they can feel good about themselves. Not the new supply, but the narcissist wants to feel good about themselves because they want to believe that they have gone up a tier, or they've gotten somebody good, or it kind of gives them merit somehow, right? This is how they receive merit for themselves. They think that, oh, if I can get this kind of a person, then I get some credit for that. So annoying. But I'm going to read a few more of your comments here. Measure Twice says, I put off dealing with bad memories in order to function while raising kids, work, school activities, birthday parties, soccer, scouts, etc., without acting a fool. And you know what? Sometimes, and that's part of the compartmentalizing that I do agree with. You do have to put that aside in order to interact in a healthy way with those who are in your life, especially your children, right? You cannot have these crazy emotions and this trauma and this wounding all out in the front. There's a time to deal with that. And now sounds like it might be the time for you to deal with that. And I'm so glad that you're at this point now, Measure Twice, because this is your time. This is your time now to get the healing that you need and to get the focus on yourself finally that you get. Brown Girl Love One says, well, she might be silly like me. I stayed for 13 years. Wow. Yeah. And that might happen, but it might not. It might not last very long at all. It's quite interesting because it seems to me that if a narcissist had a really long relationship, the next one is going to be really short. It's like they alternate. I'm not sure why, but yeah. Cyrilus. Okay, I'm sorry. Crystal Jean says, I also consciously repressed or at least didn't address certain scary things he said to me. Yeah. Yeah. And that's a good time. You know what? That's where I think therapy would be really good, or if you have a good friend, actually, or sometimes a very close relative who you trust and who you respect. Someone is mature, not somebody who's, flaky, of course, but someone is mature enough to walk you through or help you through these emotional traumas and unload all this baggage and sort through it, And it's really great to have a friend who can go through with you and tell you. They can spot it before you can, which is so cool. They can spot the lie. They're like, well, that's a lie. And they snap you back to reality, which is a really good friend. I love people like that. So, Cyril says, not our responsibility. Yes, because that's what I'm saying. It's not. Remember that. Remember, it's not your responsibility to make sure the narcissist is satisfied, is comfortable, is happy. No, not our responsibility anymore. Measure Twice says, I don't believe his crap and know that it won't last because he is broken. And also, if it lasts, she will be abused 100%, guaranteed, unfortunately. Yes. Yes. Right? We know the truth. So we just have to repeat the truth to us. Hey, I wanted to ask you guys if you did the challenge that I had last week. And that challenge, if you remember, was to look in the mirror and say some good affirmations, right? Some affirmations towards yourself. Say things like, I am strong, or looking at yourself in the mirror, you are strong. You are important. You are trustworthy. You are a good friend. You are a good person. Say things like that. And even say you're beautiful, or you're handsome, or you're hilarious. Say things to yourself that are true. And even if you don't feel like they're true, that people have enjoyed your company. That you have good friends. That people have given you compliments before, even though you try to push it away and act like, well, they didn't really mean it. They did. You have great style. Say that to yourself. I have great style, or, say it in the mirror. So anyway, I wanted to ask you guys if you did that this week, because I want to hear how you felt about it. I want to let you know that I did try to do that as much as I could remember, because I did not remember to do that every time or every day. But when I did remember, I would stand in front of the mirror and I would say these affirmations, which made me feel extremely uncomfortable at first. And it still kind of does make me feel uncomfortable. So I'm going to keep doing this until it's not uncomfortable anymore, until it's not uncomfortable to accept good things about myself. And that's what I want you to understand too. The reason why you would say it in the mirror is because you want to be able to accept these good comments about yourself without feeling weird, without feeling like, I don't know if I believe this. You want to get to the point where you believe it. You believe that you're a good person. You believe that you're strong. You believe that you're a survivor. You believe that you're a good parent. You believe that you're a good friend. So in order to do that, you have to get comfortable with those words. You have to say those words out loud. until you hear them so regularly that they become a part of you. And it's like a no-brainer for you, right? Like, oh, obviously, yes, of course. I have no problem believing good things about myself. And that leads to more self-confidence, and it also leads to healthier boundaries, believe it or not. It helps you to see when people are trying to cross over your boundaries and treat you badly, because now that you know that you're a good person and that you're a strong person, that you're a good friend, you're going to say, well, I'm not going to accept this bad behavior from you because a good person doesn't deserve this. A strong person wouldn't put up with this. So you guys, that's what I wanted to share with you. I'm going to read some of your comments and see where we are here. I want to apologize to some people that, I didn't realize this, but as I scroll, sometimes I don't see everybody's comments or welcome everybody. And there was somebody last week who jumped in and said hi, but I'm thinking a lot of other people didn't see it either because it might have been a fast streaming moment. So I apologize if I didn't catch you. It won't, okay. It won't last. Crystal Jean says, it won't last. Prepare yourself for a Hoover when he gets bored of her. Yeah. Yeah, Brown Girl says, knew he didn't change because changed men and women actually don't abuse you when they leave. It's true. If they're truly changed, they will have will have gone through a transformation. You would have been able to see some beginnings of a transformation. They think if enough time passes, then you'll forget. Cyrilla says, yeah. Measure Twice says, social media such as Facebook is a big no-no for me. Too toxic, the whole of Facebook. Yeah, I've actually gotten off of Facebook myself. I'm hardly ever on there again. I'm just on there once in a while to check for events happening around town. And I need to find another way to do that because I do not like Facebook. It is a big no-no for me as well. It just, especially if you have narcissists in your life who are still friends on Facebook, you just don't want that. And I have some, not because they're still in my life. That's why. Crystal Jean says, brown girl, sorry, exactly. Decent people don't want other people to hurt. Yeah. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm just looking through to see. Yeah, I'm so sorry, brown girl love. That's what it's called. She says, he did his best to murder my soul. Ha, I'm still here. Yes, right? You're a survivor. You guys, I'm so proud of you guys for making it through. I'm so proud of you guys for seeking healing. I'm so proud of you that you're still trying to find goodness. You're still trying to get back to a point of goodness and not giving in to hatred. And a lot of times, by the way, you guys, people who were not narcissists but were injured by narcissists take on the narcissistic characteristics because they don't find the healing they need, or they don't seek it, and they don't introspect, and they end up retaliating against a narcissistic abuse by then becoming an abuser themselves. So that is the absolute worst that a person can do coming out of narcissistic abuse. And that's why so many people out there will say, am I the narcissist? Will ask themselves, question themselves, because they know they took on some of the narcissist anger, some of the narcissist manipulations, tactics, right? Some of the narcissist characteristics. And the reason that people do that, or that we might have done that, is because when you're around something so much, you tend to imitate it. You tend to react that way. When that's your example for extreme, for a long time, you tend to be pushed into repeating or imitating that example. But also when you've been traumatized, you also will respond in from a place of woundedness, from a place of trauma. And when you respond from that place of trauma, it's not going to be the most healthy response. It's not going to be a solid, grounded, uh, strong and healthy response. It's going to be a response that's wounded, that's a lot like the narcissist, because the reason they act the way they do is because of this wounding that's inside of them. And that wounding might have been self-inflicted because of their just extreme low self-esteem that they refuse to work on. They refuse to become better people. But anyway, that's another topic for another time, you guys. But let me look at some of these other comments here. When you injure them, Crystal Jean says, their ego, when you injure them, they need to hurt you back. They think by moving on quickly and rubbing it in your face, it will hurt you and make them feel better. Yeah. Yeah. So that's exactly what he did. Doing surgery, he left me. I'm not quite sure what that means. Measure Twice says, addendum to my Facebook comment, there are a few support groups on Facebook that I engage in anonymously. That's a good point. I have not tried the self-help groups on Facebook or support groups on Facebook. Crystal Jean says, fake book is what she calls it, has performed countless clandestine social experiments on users as well. Thou shalt not envy. That's what it's all about, folks. Yeah, there's a lot of envying going on Facebook. And if you find yourself caught up in that and feeling miserable about your own life and thinking everybody else's life is beautiful and perfect and sunshiny, it's time to get off of Facebook, because that's not reality. We all have ups and downs. I want to let you guys know that it's okay, by the way, to have a down. It's okay to have a down day. It's not okay to beat yourself up for having a down day. It's not okay to think that there's something wrong with you because you have a down day. That's normal. That's a normal human being. We all have down days, by the way. Yeah. Brown girl, okay. Measure Twice says, brown girl love, mine threw a party while I was in the hospital for cancer surgery. Oh, when I was laying on bathroom floor with the flu, he went out and partied, came home, stepped over me, to pee. A monster. Yeah, that's there. Yeah. I just can't even understand how a person can be like that. But as I read more and more about narcissism, and actually it borderlines on psychopathy, right? Psychopaths, sociopaths. And the thing they have in common there is this complete detachment to other people. So you guys, when the narcissist acts like they want to be friends again, remember that. Remember that time, that how badly they treated you. Would you, as a good person, as a strong person, accept such a toxic person back into your life? And we come back again to, making sure you affirm yourself, making sure that you accept good words about yourself, good compliments, all right, about yourself. You want to accept that you are pretty, you are funny, you are intelligent, you are loving, you are considerate. Remember to say these things to yourself. I want you to do that. You guys, I am also going back here to check again. My tummy was paralyzed. He was like, I found the love of my life. Goodbye. Ugh. Yeah. Oh my gosh. This is what cracks me up. They all think that the next person they move on with is the love of their life. I'm like, really? But isn't that what you said about the other 3 or 4 people? They're the love of your life. They're your soulmate. They'll try to come up with new words, I guess, thinking like they're upping their game. They must really have found the right person because now this person has a different title. So, it's all fake. It's all just words, and eventually they'll just toss everybody the way they always do. Yeah. If they do try to come back to you, remember this. Remember these words, who they really are. We want to forgive. We want to forget, right? We were talking about forgetting earlier. But when it comes to a narcissist, we can't. We can't forget how toxic they were. And that's why we can't go back to being friends with them. Because if you are, you'll start to forget. Like they'll start doing little things that make you think things are better, or they'll be able to manipulate you from a closer range, which is not what you want. You want to just cut out all their lies and all their manipulations. Crystal Jean says, yes, brain neuroplasticity. Narc abuse absolutely crystallizes our brains. Yeah. Yep. Measure Twice says, Jordan Peterson suggests dividing past life into segments and journaling about the trauma and how it should have been had it been healthy. Oh, that's a good idea. I like that. Sorelis Hernandez says, yes, that's so true. Of course, Crystal Jean says, of course, anyone who ever loved us, which they never did, wouldn't try to make us feel bad for who we are. Amen to that. Crystal Jean says, where's Kathy been? Yeah, where is Kathy? I'm not sure. Brown Girl says, I see his lies. I am healing, and yes, I am blessed. Thank you. Oh, I'm so glad. I'm so glad, Brown Girl, because Brown Girl Love, because I'm so glad that you're healing and that you see the lies. And that's what we all are trying to do and trying to stay on top of, because when we start lying to ourselves, we're just going to regress. We're going to go back. We're going to miss the narcissist. We're going to, sick as it might sound, miss the abuse. And you don't want to miss that. It would just further destroy and steal the rest of your life, and you don't want that. Crystal Jean says, Measure Twice, that's disgusting, but nothing they do surprises me anymore. Oh, I'm sorry. What did Measure Twice say? I think it was about how he, stepped over her when she was sick to go to the bathroom. It is terrible. So terrible. Crystal Jean says, mine never complimented me for anything. I can't believe I didn't notice that. He wrote beautiful words and cards for special occasions, and I literally lived off of that all year. Those words fooled me. Yes. And that's why we don't want to be friends with a narcissist, because they'll be able to entice us with their words. They'll be able to say the things that we're starving to hear. And again, that's why I want us to be able to say those good words, the words that are beautiful, the words that are encouraging and uplifting. Say them to ourselves, right? Say it to yourself. Look in a mirror and say that. And I'm going to challenge you to do that again this week. Look in the mirror, say, good morning, beautiful, or good morning, handsome, or good morning, you intelligent person. Tell yourself, oh, your eyes are so pretty today. Or you're a wonderful, absolutely awesome human being. Say good things to yourself. And the reason for that, again, is so you're not starved for it when some toxic, abusive, manipulative person comes into your life and says those words to you. If you're starved for those words, you're going to fall for it. But if you're not starved for those words, here's the cool thing. You're going to see their manipulation clear as day. That's the crazy thing. That's so, so awesome. So Brown Girl Love says, Crystal Jean, mine wrote beautiful words as well. They are so evil. Jojo England, hi, good to see you. She says, I'm a singer but have been made to feel worthless. I will try. Oh, you're a singer? Wow, I would love to have a great singing voice because I don't. But Okay, I'm not going to say that. Let me take that back. I have a good enough voice for myself, so I love singing for myself. But boy, if you're a singer, yeah, I just love that. I love that you can sing and you can sound good, and whatever song comes on the radio, you can sing along to it and sound good. Ah, that's awesome. Crystal Jean says, um, Jojo, sorry things are tough for you right now. You're stronger and more resilient than you know. Just remember, this too shall pass. Yes. Brown Girl Love says, I do every day. Oh, good. You say good things to yourself. I'm so glad. Jojo England says, thank you, Crystal, so much I know. I'm good and talented, but I felt worthless. This is not me. I used to be strong. Sorry. Oh my gosh, Jojo. You know what? The crazy thing is that really just strikes my heart, because there are people who are so talented, so smart, so funny, and so creative, so brilliant, and yet the narcissist makes them feel like nothing, takes away their talent, diminishes and their talent, tells them, or criticizes their talent to the point where the people who have these talents are don't feel confident anymore in what they have. So I'm going to break that away from you right now, like this lie, Jojo England, that whatever that narcissist said to you or however they treated you, you still have that talent. That is something they cannot take away from you. And even if they criticize it, who the heck cares what their criticism is? Nobody cares. I don't care. Nobody on here cares, right? So I want you to know, Jojo England, that you are brilliantly, brilliantly talented. And keep up with that. Keep singing. I want you to keep singing. I think singing is such a blessing in life. Brown Girl Love says, I am strong, I am beautiful, I am funny, I am loving, I am open, I am forgiving. Yes, yes, yes. And I'll say yes, yes, yes to that as well. Crystal Jean says, Brown Girl, I know. I need to burn all those cards and letters. They're all lies. Every time I happen across one, I just get pulled back into nostalgia. Oh, Crystal Jean, yes, please. I know it's really hard to get rid of those because you think that's where you got your identity at one point. That's where you got affirmation, even, right? At one point. And come to find out that who this person really is kind of, well, it does taint that. Now you have to say those affirmations to yourself. And if you have to borrow from some of those words, use those words, but say it to yourself. Don't take it from the narcissist. Kathy, hi, good to see you. We were just asking about you. So glad you're here. We missed you last week. Brown Girl says, Crystal Jean, yep, I threw everything away, even gifts. Yes, I would agree with that. We have to throw everything away. No reminder of him at all, Brown Girl Love says. And Crystal Jean says, Jojo, you still are. You won't let him ruin you. Yes. Jojo, you are still a smart and wonderful, talented woman. Do not let the narcissist take that away from you. Okay, you guys, let me scroll down a bit more. Yeah, Kathy. Jojo says, thank you, Crystal. Just going to see my son playing in his band at school will cheer me up. Ah, that's awesome. Crystal says, I was just asking where you were, Kathy. Missed you last week. Yes, I missed you too. I was wondering also where you were, Kathy. I'm like, oh. Crystal Jean says, Jojo, that's great. I'm sure it will. I'm sorry. We need to focus on our beautiful children, not the narcissists. Yeah. Anyone else is experiencing audio choppiness? Oh, I'm so sorry, you guys. That might be happening. Oh, shoot. Okay. Oh, I'm so sorry about the audio choppiness. Again, that's more stuff that I need to work on. Apparently, I had my Wi-Fi turned off. I just turned it on. Kathy says, even when it looks like everything is going great for them, remember it's just an illusion. Yes, or illusion. Crystal Jean says, exactly, Kathy. People on the outside thought we had the perfect family. It was misery, even when I thought things were good. I was fooling myself. Yes, Crystal Jean, thank you so much for sharing that, because a lot of people out there don't believe it, right? They can't believe that things are as bad on the inside as because the outside looks so good. But I have seen so many of these narcissistic relationships on the verge of divorce. And even then, they will post pictures of family vacations like, oh, everything's great, everything's beautiful. And then the next thing you find out is they're divorced. And you're like, wait, what? What happened? You had no idea. So that's why it's so important for us to not look, not imagine, right, how great things are going, but instead focus on, and I love how you guys said it, focus on the kids. If you have kids, focus on their lives, enjoy them, have fun with them, play games with them, watch movies with them, cook with them, bake with them, go out for hikes with them, go exploring with them, go to museums. Oh my gosh, life is so good. Life is so good when you fill it with people who are not toxic. All right, you guys, just remember that. If you're feeling like life is crappy right now, start doing things with people who are not toxic, and you will see how good life is. And if you have kids, if you've been blessed to have kids, then enjoy them. Enjoy those kids, raise them up knowing that they are loved. Measure Twice says, so I just looked in the mirror just now and said affirmations. Yes. It was a little weird, but not terrible. I did a pretty good job and will continue to do so every day. Thank you for suggesting this. Oh, that's so awesome. Kathy Grenia says, I cut him out of pictures. Laughy faces with a lot of tears. Or happy tears, right? That is good. Yep. Get rid of it. Get rid of, oh my gosh, you guys, there are. So I have family members who are narcissists. I do not put their pictures up. I just don't, which is, because it's just a reminder. It would be a reminder. If they're in any family pictures, I don't put those up because I don't need to be reminded of this horrible person. I just don't. And I don't have to lie to myself to believe that this person was okay. It's okay to just say no. Just say no to these people and cut them out. And we were talking about that earlier in boundaries. One of the most powerful words in your vocabulary is no, because no allows you to keep out toxic people, toxic thoughts, toxic beliefs, toxic lies. You can keep all of that out with the word no. So we also were talking about traumas and not reliving your past, because you don't want to relive your past. You want to review your past. And I have a video on that called, oh, let me see if I can remember. It is Real Tools for Healing After Narcissistic Abuse. And I'll go ahead and put it in this up top here in this it says I for information or I card. I'll give you a link to that one. But one of the things that we have to do is when we go back to examine or re-examine traumas so that we can work through them, we don't want to relive them. Don't relive them. And one of the things you can do too, when you look back at these traumas and you see the bad things that happened, you're re-examining those things, say no. Say no to any of the lies that you believed back then. Like any of the times that the narcissist told you were stupid or you're a jerk or whatever it is they might have said to you. And you remember that word or that phrase or that argument, just flat out, verbally, audibly say it. Say no. No, that's not true. So you guys know is the one of the biggest, strongest, most powerful words we have in our vocabulary. So let me see. Measure Twice says, Jojo, I am so sorry you were having a hard time. Hang in there and watch YouTube support videos daily on different channels. It helps. Yes, it does. Crystal Jean says, Measure Twice. Awesome. I repeat affirmations when I walk. Oh, that's a great idea. I am good. I am strong. I am resilient. I like that one, by the way. I am resilient. I am beautiful. I am independent. I like that one too. I am light in my body. I am a child of God. I am a sparkle. Yes. And I would agree with all of that. Yes, you are, Crystal. Crystal says, Kathy, LOL, I took all his photos down, did it little by little for the kids' sake. Oh, yeah, because if you're, yeah. It's okay though. Even the kids don't, I don't think kids really care if you have pictures of the other parent up. By the way, you're right. Taking it down little by little, they'll miss it. They won't notice until there's just no pictures of the narcissistic ex. And that's a great idea. Thanks for recommending that or suggesting that. So, you guys, we are coming up 4 minutes more to the hour, but I wanted to make sure that you guys know that when the narcissist tries to weasel their way back into your life, or if they do, or if they try to drop hints or hoover you back in through your kids or through other coworkers, again, you have to compartmentalize. You have to keep that part of your life as your professional life, right? Like the way you would your professional life, and keep it out of your private life. So, no, narcissists cannot be your friends. They are not worthy of being your friends. They're not worthy of being a part of your life. They're not even worthy to take a look inside of your life. Because even if things are going great for you, you don't want narcissists to even know that because they're going to try and sabotage you. So, what kind of a relationship can you have with a person who you cannot share bad or good things with? That's called a business relationship, right? As a professional relationship. You keep things purely on a need to know, a need to contact, a need to interact basis. So if you don't need to interact with a narcissist, don't. If you don't need them to know what you're doing in your life when they ask you, hey, so what are you doing next month? Or what are you doing over the summer? Or what are you doing for Christmas? You do not need to tell them, because would you tell a customer, a business associate? Not really. I mean, you're not going to tell them the details of what's going on in your life, right? You might say, yeah, I'm on vacation next month, but you're not going to say where you're going, how you're going, getting there, how much money you're going to be spending, and all the excursions you're going to be taking. No, those are for friends. That information is for friends. And narcissists are not friends. You have to keep that professional line between you and the narcissist. So here we go, you guys. I'm going to read a few more comments and I'm going to allow you guys to wrap up some of your conversations. I'm so glad you made it, Kathy. You were missed. Let me see. Coming down here. Oh, Kathy says, yes, not worthy. Right on, Oscar. Yeah, in case any of you guys did not catch before, you can call me Oscar, which is this little guy right here, or you can call me EFC for Escape from Crazytown, or you can call me Escape. Those are all things that I think would be great. But yeah, so that's why Kathy calls me Oscar, which I think is cool because I like Oscar. I like the name. So you guys, we are going to wrap up. I thank you so much for coming on. It was a blessing to be here to hear you or read your comments. And I wish you lots of healing. I wish you lots of joy. Remember to tell yourself a lot of good things, right? I'm going to check on you again next week and see if you did it. And I want to hear good things about brain training too. I want to hear how the memory is coming back and how you're going back and journaling the trauma, break them into segments like Jordan Peterson. Someone mentioned that Jordan Peterson suggests that you break your trauma up into segments. And the way I've seen it done also is like segments as in years, certain number of years, right? The year number 1, year number 2, year number 3 that you were with the narcissist. Or you can break them up. If you've been with the narcissist for decades, you may want to do the first 3 years or the first 5 years, and then the next 5 years, and then the next 5 years. And you write down the things that happened during that time that was traumatizing. But I want to encourage you to do one other thing. I want you to encourage you to not just write down the traumas, but write down the good things that happened during that time. Now, the good things may not have come from the narcissist. The good things probably came from your friends, your family, your children, yourself, achievements that you made, like you might have gone back and taken classes and you got a good grade. Write that down. Don't forget there were good things too that happened, even amidst the trauma. And that will help you start to see things more in perspective. Start to see the good despite the bad, and then still deal with the bad. And don't forget the word no. Don't forget to say no. That was a lie as you go back and re-examine what happened in the past, and you see the lies surfacing again, the accusations surfacing again. Say out loud and even write it in your journal right after you describe it, right? Right after you describe it in your journal, write no, capital N, capital O, exclamation point, that was a lie. And then write what the truth was. Write that despite this, I was kind. Despite this, I survived. I am still here. Right? Good things. So, YouTube family, podcast family, love you guys. I think you guys are wonderful. I am so proud of each of you, and I'm looking forward to our next time together. See you next Happy Crappy Hour.